Hi everybody, I'm Michael Bennett, and tonight is the State of the Union. I could not be more thrilled to have as my guest Paul Bruchez. Paul is a fifth generation rancher. He lives in Kremlin with his family. I've been to his ranch several times, and we've had lots of conversations over the years about the challenges that we're facing in the Colorado River Basin, especially with the effect of drought on farmers and ranchers. And Paul, you really have been a leader. You wouldn't say that yourself, but I will say you've been a leader in terms of how agriculture, farmers and ranchers need to think about the very tough situation that we're facing, and you really have led some of the efforts about how to think differently about that. And I just wonder if you want to take this as an opportunity to talk about some of that.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. And first of all, I'm honored, humbled, and appreciate the invitation to be here, and frankly, your focus on water for our state and for the West and the importance that it has. My family, the Colorado River flows through our ranch, and in 2002 and 2003, we saw the most substantial impacts of drought that the river had seen in modern era to that time. And we took a stance and said we want to make a difference. And so in the early stages of my life, professional career, I should say, it started out on a very local scale, working with local government and starting to work on some projects. And it's gone to a point now where I sit on the Colorado Water Conservation Board and deal with broader statewide issues.
And what do you hope to hear tonight from the president on the issues of drought or agriculture more generally?
I would love for the president to specifically address the needs that the West has, the crisis that we have been living with for a long period of time, and how we're going to take specific action to deal with it.
As you know, I've been on the Agriculture Committee since the day I got here, and I really appreciate your counsel, the counsel of so many farmers and ranchers across our state. As we've done 2 farm bills, we're going into the 3rd now, and drought's got to be a big part of this. The conservation programs are going to be hugely important, and I'd like to hear the president talk about that. I'd like to hear him acknowledge the fact that we're in a 1,200-year drought in the West, and that the entire, future of the American West depends on what we do together, both producers and others. I think when I'm traveling the state, I think a lot about the people that, 100 years ago made decisions that would advance the cause of people living 100 years later. And I think we're in a similar situation now. The kinds of things you're doing on your ranch, are critically important to your family, but also to the future of American agriculture for the next century or so. And I know you see it that way too.
Well, and I appreciate that. And really, I think what I've seen in my life is that, local projects that can inform local process that ultimately lead up to a scale of this, including the Farm Bill, are really what it's going to take to solve some of the challenges that we face.
I really agree with that, and I think that's the approach that we've taken, whether it's the infrastructure bill or the climate bill that was called the Inflation Reduction Act, the broadband provisions, for example, that we put into the infrastructure bill. After years of watching Washington subsidize the largest telecom companies in the world, I went to see the guys in Delta Madras who had done this themselves, built the high-speed internet that their community needed to remain competitive, or to stay competitive with the rest of the world. And now we've passed a bill that's going to allow rural America to do that all over the place, but it's based on the good work at the local level. And I think when it comes to agriculture in particular, and agricultural practices in particular, the only way anybody really ever embraces change is if they see each other doing something new, and that it actually makes a difference to their bottom line and their ability to pass their farm and their ranch on to the next generation.
I could not agree more, and I've had the privilege of seeing that firsthand, not only the action and reaction from neighbors of seeing positive work, and then how that also can change a community and their attitude towards what we face. That area, and largely through the last Farm Bill with our CPP, that's what made it happen for our community.
Well, I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. I'm thrilled that you're here, Paul. I think we're going to have a good time, and thanks for saying yes.
My pleasure. I cannot be more honored. Thank you so much.
Thank you.